This conference will now be recorded.
Okay. All right. Well, welcome. I'm glad you all made it. As we said, we're going to discuss the member survey results. Um, we had, well, first let me start. Let me say thank you to Monica and Debbie for setting this up, setting up the Clubhouse chat. Monica has a passion for these, so I think she's going to help us get a couple more done this year than we've done last year. That would be great. I also want to extend my thanks to the board members that are coming that are going to help answer questions and fill in some of the blanks for what I don't know. And then I want to congratulate all the members because we had like, I think 61 people respond to the survey this year, which is actually a really good response. So evidently there's a lot of things that the members want us to know, and we want to know that. So we're going to look at what you guys said and then tell you what we think we're going to do to try to answer all your wants and desires. Um, okay, I've shared my screen. Can you all see the big blue screen? Do I need to do anything to make it more visible for anyone? I think, are we good?
Looks
Okay,
good.
okay, thank you. Um, all right, so the first question we came up to is like, when you first joined Nate, how important were these things to you? And the number one thing that you wanted when you first joined was you wanted to learn new games. And then you were also interested in helping to grow the sport, have community with other people playing the games, training resources, and then a close behind training resources probably was earning titles. Everyone likes to earn titles. That's one of the little positive reinforcements we get. We get a ribbon, get to go on and play some more hard things. And so, what other some of the other reasons that prompted you to join Nate? People said instruction and support to become an instructor, including possibly some sort of certification, live competition and events closer to their home location, and because it seemed like a fun mental and physical activity for their dog, especially for the older and injured dogs. And I would agree with all those things. Okay, now that you are a member, we asked, how important are these things? And the biggest response, okay, after you started playing the games, now that you're a member, what's the biggest thing? You want questions answered. You want to know more information. And so you also want access to training materials. Some of the specific comments were the ability to find answers to rules and issues, availability of support for instructors, especially online support. You wanted to have the website easier to use and to grow the sport so it's better recognized and more people are playing nearby. Um, that getting questions answered, you can see here in green, that was really just sort of overwhelmed everything else. That and the request for training materials. Wanting more clubhouse chats, that's sort of like wanting more training materials. You wanted an opportunity, it sounded like, to get together with other people playing the game so you can either talk about it or tell what you've been doing or ask questions or get something clarified for what happened at the last time you tried to play. Okay, the next question, if you've never submitted, okay, video titling is very important to our club. Most of the people are getting their titles through video titling. So if you've never submitted a video to Nate for judging, the top items which prevented you from doing it. Top two reasons: your dog's not ready, and you didn't feel like you had a place where you could do it. And what other issues prevented you from submitting videos for judging? There were several responses that indicated that the rules, field requirements, and the effort required were too difficult. So we hear that. We have some ideas of how we'd like to help you with that one. If you submitted a video for judging, what really was the hardest part? Top issues: finding a field again, setting up, and then a lot of video specific thing like uploading, recording, editing. That's hard. That's a hard one. Nearly all the responses were in some way wanting some further details for the other responses that were already offered. Like there were just a lot of responses about location issues, cumbersome field and video setup requirements, and again, computer and online issues. Okay, how difficult was it for you overall? Let's see, how difficult was it overall for you to video your runs for title submission? Um, got sort of a bell curve there. Not too difficult was the most common response. Some people had a lot of problems. Some people said that wasn't too bad. But what support could Nate provide to make the video titling easier for those that are interested in doing it? Again, field size and setup make it easier for fields to be set up. Published material, published permitted field modifications. Allow the field and goal to be marked by drop stakes or cones rather than solid fencing. That's one that's actually allowed. We just need to make it better known to you that it is allowed. Using YouTube and uploading videos. You would like some easy instructions on how to do that and how to add text to video. How to submit video, how to submit videos. They'd like some easy instructions. Member access to the dog's queue history and title history, and an open forum to ask judging and rule questions. Okay, so as the Nate board plans for the future, what do you think our priorities should be? Um, when you just look at the gross numbers there, the purple over here, the big thing is you'd like more member interactions, instructor help, educational materials, um, increased members. You'd like to see more with live trials. And then some of the other comments were more instructors, in-person classes and demonstrations, an online instructors course, more virtual games for beginners to help introduce newcomers to Treibball. You'd like to relax the field setup restrictions, make the rules less confusing, instructions on how to host a trial. Let's see, in chronological. Let's see, host a trial in chronological order. A liaison person to help someone who's trying to hold a trial. Zoom sessions with time for questions to help generate interest. So we took all that. Before I go on to our answers, does anyone have any questions or comments on any of the survey results? Are we good? Okay. So this next part is when I'm going to hope that the board members here are going to help me fill some of this in. So what we did was the Nate board met and we looked at all your results. Chris did a great job, summarizing them and sort of clumping them into lists that we could work from. I just got poked by a dog. Okay, so we did that, and so we tried to come up with the biggest hitters, the things you guys wanted to know more than anything else, and also things that we knew that would be easy and useful to do for you guys. So one of the things that we saw, you guys are wanting more information on how to do things or how to interpret things. So we're going to do a series of how-to write-ups. And I apologize for the noise in the background. Okay, so like we're going to do a how to train a dog, Treibball skills, how to become a trainer, how to become a judge, how to hold a trial, how to video title, like using YouTube and uploading videos. What is a field? Setting it up, the minimum requirements, ideas for fields, marking and fencing. That's one I'm working on. And that one sort of leads into how and why to get field or performance modification requests. There's a lot of things with the field. It's like, okay, in the rule book, we have very specific description of what a field should be. But that's the ideal field. And we know that not everybody can have the ideal 75-foot field and this high of a fence. So there's a lot that you can do and still be able to play. Like it is possible for a fence, you don't have to have a solid fence around your field. You could get by with a ribbon going all the way around. Now you'll need some sort of field modification request because the rule would be if your dog pushes the ball underneath that ribbon, it's out of play and your run is done. So there's flexibility, and we're going to have try to come up with a document that's going to help you understand some of the things that you can get by with, not get by with, but get permission to use instead of having the perfect field. We have a lot of website developments that are in the works. Chris is heading that up. You have things to say, Chris? Things you want to add?
No, we're doing a lot of stuff.
Yeah, we are.
We're working hard. It's just not ready to reveal all
Yeah.
of the
I mean,
changes.
our goal is to have something where you can look up your dog's titles.
Yeah.
Maybe organize it a little better so the how-to stuff and the educational stuff is a little bit more obvious. Maybe a little more. The website might be a little more search friendly. One of the other things Sandy's been working on hard is to create a facts page. She's been going through all the questions that have ever been submitted into our Facebook page and taking those and turning it into a facts page. And I have a little excerpt from what she sent me. So there's Sandy. So like the first one she had was like, how do you pronounce Treibball? Where do you get balls, and the requirement of how to find out what kind of balls you need, and then where to buy them. Amazon and Walmart are great places to buy balls. Does the color of the ball matter? So I looked at. She's submitted a sort of a draft document, and it's long. She's found all sorts of good stuff that you guys are going to enjoy reading through once we get that posted up. And you had said that you needed more information about what was
urban herding.
Urban
I've got
herding.
sections on B&O and snooker that are pretty robust, but I need more information, more questions. What are your burning questions about urban herding, basically?
Yeah. So if you want to send those on to us, we'll get those to Sandy, and we can fill out that section of the facts. Or if you want to shout them out right now, I'll write them down.
And if you ever want to, you can always use the info@nationaltreibball.com email.
Yes.
And that gets routed
to the appropriate person.
My question would be how to train at the expert level when you have balls in the center and you got to send them in different directions.
On urban herding?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, that's a good one. Send that in, and we'll get you some ideas. Since you're here, Aaron. Oh, yes, ma'am.
This is Kathy.
Kathy.
My one comment on finding balls for medium balls and occasionally large size balls. I've had good luck with like TJ Maxx and Marshalls and places like that. Fitness ball for like $8.
Good hint. I see Sandy's writing. I think she's making that note.
Wait a minute. The last small balls I bought from Amazon were in the $8 to $9 range too. So, but you said TJ Maxx and Marshalls?
Marshalls, yeah. Any of those places, even Home Goods and places like that, they're all in that same family. And they've got pet sections, and I think they all get stuff from the same places. So, and it's hit or miss. They might not have any, and they might have a whole bunch.
I can definitely add them to the list of places for people to check.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Thank you.
All right. So, the website, we're working on that, but we have ideas. We just have to get it done. Okay, so the newsletter. That's always a great way for Nate to communicate with their members. Erin's the secretary, and so the newsletter is one of her responsibilities. And I know she's always looking for great ideas to include in her newsletter. So if you
Thanks,
have
Margaret.
a good story, um, send it to info at um, nationaltreibball.com, and we'll get that to Erin to put into the newsletter. Alyssa did not make it. Okay, so Alyssa's our marketing person. Um, I know she has several things in the work. The thing that's been completed most recently is our new Facebook page. I hope you all have been there. We decided to open up our Facebook page to everybody. The old Facebook page, I think people, I don't know, it was members only, and that was a little bit restrictive. So if we want to grow, if we want other people to get excited about the sport, we needed to open things up, and so that was what was behind that. So we're gonna post our pictures and stuff the way we have been. Um, but we'll also get comments from other people who are interested in learning about the sport. We hope. Oops. And then the clubhouse chat, Monica and Debbie are pretty much heading that up, and they're open. They're always open for ideas for what you guys would like to talk about at a clubhouse chat. I think they have one set for next month. It was going to be, remind me, Monica, point ball something?
Yeah, point ball, training point ball.
Training point ball. So that's, and do we have a date for that already?
Not yet, but it'll be announced 2 weeks before the event.
Okay, great. So that went very quickly. Um, so now we have questions and ideas from you guys. What else would you like to know about, or what else would you like us to know about as far as what we need to be doing for y'all?
So, hello? Hello? Can you hear me?
Yeah, hello, yeah.
Yeah, this is Karen Sheehan, and I'm in Minneapolis, and
Mhm.
we are, a couple friends and I are trying to get something rolling here, but it's sort of like a food desert. I mean, there's nothing going on in this area yet. So it would it would be really beneficial to have a guide on how to start from scratch in getting something going, getting the ball rolling, as it says on the book.
So when you say getting the ball rolling, is that like starting a club or getting class? What do you want rolling?
Yeah, everything, I guess. We have one class going on right now. Um, and that's really it. I mean, I'm hoping to come in September to Indiana for your um, competition, but
Mhm.
I don't know enough except for what I'm seeing on the Nate website, really, um, to be able to train my dog. And I think that all the commentary on the field size is really important because, you know, I can set things up in my backyard, but I'm just a little short in, you know, being able to have enough room to um, to fit the requirements. And we've looked around and we've identified a couple of places, like if we get going and are able to get enough people together, like, okay, this place might work for a trial, but finding places to just train because a lot of the places that are available to us, and there's a lot of schools around this area, have pools. And it doesn't, so we don't have the nice, clean, clear space to do it because there are pools everywhere. They run agility on them, but I'm not sure that it's going to be as easy to do a Treibball.
So one of the things you can do, and this is part of the things we're trying to pull together, anytime you have questions like that, so we have a field modification request form, or even just sending it through a link to a video of your place and asking those questions. We shuffle those to Lisa, and you'll get a response. Hey, if you do this, or yeah, this can work, but there might be this limitation. I remember way back Eric submitting a video, and we said, "Wow, you've got a pole right in the middle of the field, but here's how we can work around that." And we've had the question, well, somebody had a tree. Well, you know what? That tree was close to one end of the field, so all they had to do was rotate the field so that the tree was at the far end, not the close end by the goal. Um, we can give advice back to say, here's how we can make that area work for you. So anytime you feel like, gosh, I just don't know, send it in. We're happy to try to tell you how to make it work.
Okay, that would be awesome. That would be great. And it's sounding to me like the best way to get answers is to contact Nate directly, because I've asked questions before on Facebook and they just sit there for a while.
Yeah, and sometimes that's so annoying because Facebook doesn't, in its annoying ways, doesn't necessarily notify us that there's something up, you know. So yeah, if you send it in to us, like I say, if it comes into info at email, we direct it to whoever should answer the question, and you're usually pretty fast getting those answers out.
Yeah.
There's a lot more that's okay. You read the rules, and we know it feels like, oh my gosh, it's so onerous. But there's a lot of ways around things to make it work. And so, when we talk, there, even ways to get people interested. We've done all kinds of things here. Doing, we get a couple dogs trained, and then we do demos. We just look for places where there'll be other dog people, especially when we get a lot of boost by where there's other dog sports going on. Asking to do demos, short demo, and suddenly you got people interested in playing with you. So yeah, we're trying to pull some of that together to give everybody access to those ideas.
Good. What else? What else can we do for you?
Are you going to do any more? This is Debbie from Winnipeg. Are you going to start doing some more of those little mini training things, or little mini things that you could do inside, like little and where, like, there was one time where you had two balls and you had to send your dog out to the far one, walk up to the close one. So like little mini training things, and you could send in a video of how it went. And it's for me, it's really great for the winter because, well, we get a lot of snow, so the balls deflate outside, so we can't play outside. So we're kind of limited in the space that we have. So having some other ideas, I mean, I kind of make up my own kind of games, but I'd like to have something from somebody that, kind of knows more than I do, that, it would be something more beneficial, because those were always fun to do. I like doing those little mini challenges.
Sandy, you got?
I'm listening.
That's nice feedback.
One suggestion is kind of the same way I created some of the frequently asked questions pages. I did a search on the Facebook page, and I searched under the different game names or field names, but you could also search for challenges or basically I would just search for challenges.
Yeah.
And a
I
lot
think
of those
another
that we've
place
already
to
done
do-
would come back up. In the meantime, I will try to make it more a priority to start putting those out again.
Yeah, I think another one you use, I think you call them training tips. Like
Yes,
challenges and training tips.
training tips and there was a third category.
Was.
Yeah.
So
So that will help you find the ones that we've already put up there, and then it sounds like Sandy's gonna start making some new ones for us. So that'll be good.
That's great. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Good question.
Hi, this is Sue from North Carolina,
Hey, Sue.
and I'm a very new member and just got our novice standard title. Big shout out to Lisa Triggs. She is an amazing instructor, and I'm wondering about the possibility of asking instructors such as Lisa to record, that's Maddie, to record some of their, hang on one second. Come here, babe.
Yeah, you're okay. Just lay down.
Girl.
There you go.
Sorry for the delay. She hates it when I talk to other people. Wondering about the possibility of taking your more experienced teachers like Lisa, asking them to record their class sessions. And, I don't know about the possibility too of making those recordings available for a modest fee, similar to what Fenzi does. And to, I don't know if Nate is interested or needs to earn some more cash, but it would give a structure for people to refer to when they're trying to set up their own training situations. Lisa, I'm kind of throwing you under the bus here. I don't know if that's a doable thing or if I'm being a big mouth newbie.
I like the idea. I think that would be something that maybe the board could talk about and see how we could proceed forward with something like that.
Mhm.
I mean, there's a lot of a lot of things involved with that, but I do like the general idea of doing something like that. So I'm going to write it down.
I wrote it down. There's also, I don't know how much you've explored the NATE website, but our training pages do try to step people through the basics to get them up to the pre-novice novice level of, how to train your dog. There's a lot of videos attached to that. And if you haven't explored our YouTube page, there are playlists on there that cover a lot of topics, and a lot of those have been posted by various instructors.
Yes, I have, and those have been great. I'm just thinking of a person who is trying to set up his or her own class to get more people involved, and to watch someone who is doing it and to get ideas from them. That was the only reason I was suggesting that.
Okay.
So are you thinking more like skill type, learning skills, or learning how to play the games?
I think the skills are the important foundations.
Okay.
And then again, coupling it with the other information you have about how to play the game. I mean, I watched it and I went, oh, okay. But it wasn't until I went back, or Lisa went back and took me through the very basic building block stages, that things clicked in my mind. And I went, oh. And I think that made me a more confident person and more interested in becoming a member and learning more and helping.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, for example, I think our resources are fabulous, but I think for a new person, it can be overwhelming. There's just so many videos and so many things, and you don't really know what order to do what in, kind of the organization of it.
Like a syllabus might help of some sort.
Yeah,
Okay.
we've certainly talked about a syllabus, um, some sort of syllabus timeline. I've done some classes just, in particular for newbies, taking them through, how a trial or a video, how the whole thing works. Because a lot of times, we've done demos, but especially for the newbies, how does it all actually come together for the game? The whole idea of walking in, going to the box, what are the lines, what do they mean? You practice all the skills, but then pulling it all together is its own thing. So, Sandy and I, we've talked about doing little video instead of just Word documents, um, explaining some of these things. So along that same line of video in a class or putting together videos that explain how to do things.
On kind of a side note, I'd like to mention, I didn't catch your name, the gal from Minnesota. What was her
Hi,
name?
Karen. Yes.
Hi. Like, it would be fabulous, and I know we don't have tons of resources, but it would be fabulous if there's an area that says we want to start Treibball here, and then they have kind of like a mentor to help them. I know I went to Chris and said, hey, Chris, I want to start teaching classes. Like, what do you kind of do? So I got a feel for how to do everything. So I think having kind of a mentor is really helpful.
A mentor program would be fabulous.
Mm-hmm.
Totally fabulous.
Okay.
I have, this is Kyla from Oregon.
Hey, Kyla.
Okay. When I tell people about Treibball and they maybe see a video of my dog doing it or whatever, they're like, "Oh, that's really cool." And I said, "Well, you could do this too." And they're, "Oh, I don't have the space." They don't have a yard that's as big as mine. I'm like, "Oh, you could do novice and you could do the, field modification and all that." But they don't want to start if they can't go on and they can't see themselves in a spot to go on. And I keep thinking, how can we there's lots of people who don't have space to train agility, but there's a lot of places that offer agility classes. And I wonder, how can we tap into people that have facilities for agility and try to encourage them to open up to Treibball as an additional income resource. Like, if they have a grass field, they have to usually take the equipment off the field to mow occasionally, right? I mean, I know a lot of you guys have only indoor stuff, but out on the West Coast we have a lot of outdoor facilities. I just think there's a part missing, and that part missing is the vision that they can continue with this, even if they don't have the space themselves. And I think I'm just going to put this out there as a thought about how can we talk to agility instructors or get in somehow with them. How can it be a mutually beneficial thing for them to offer some space to have Treibball classes occasionally? Does that make any sense?
Yeah, it sure does. And that's just exactly what we did. We didn't find our own space. We horn in on agility fields, and that was exactly what was the hook. It's more classes, more income. And the big thing getting into the agility is, well, they have courses set. And for us, it was, we will we'll put tape down and we clear the field off to have our class, and then we put it all back. That we take responsibility for moving things and moving it back. So they get to have it's a pain, but they get to have another class that they offer or classes that they offer. But we take care of the hard part, clearing and putting things back. It's not just asking for a clear space. And I think that helped us get our space, is that we weren't going to be a burden. We were only going to be a positive.
And you do that for just one day's worth of classes or one weekend?
Yep, I do it for hour and a half class. Now, big thing is and I'm blessed, or maybe it's just part of what I require, is everybody in the class helps. It's not just me.
Right.
Well, not everybody, Chris.
Okay, well, a lot of people.
Most of it.
You're right. But basically, people come in, they help clear it off. They help set it back up. So, I mean, I have days I go in for one class and we clear the space and we put it back so that within no time, agility class can come in and follow us.
And did they require you to have particular insurance or things like that? No.
No, the business itself already has an insurance that covers the facility.
Mm-hmm. And so then you pay a portion of what you have to charge your students to rent the facility, basically.
It can be that way. I mean, that's certainly a way it can be. The way it turned out for us is the owner of our business just pays me like any of the other instructors.
Okay.
But that would, so I basically came on board as to instruct for that class.
Mm-hmm. And it just happens to be Treibball and not agility.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And so, it helped. I was already there, but that is the end. That's one way to do it. Another way is we'll pay for use of the facility.
Mm-hmm.
And that's exactly what you do. You would take it out of, with the customers, what the students pay. Or everybody pitches in. You're going to work together and everybody pitches in to rent the facility for that time period.
Mm-hmm.
So I have a little bit to add because we do it a little bit differently. Because, agility makes a lot more money than Treibball makes. So I tried to convince the gal, let me use your smaller indoor facility, and that's where we have classes. And then, like, monthly, we'll do workshops. And I'm trying to ease my way into the agility arena a little bit more and more. So right now, workshops happen like quarterly in the arena area. Hopefully it'll be like next year, it'll be like 6 times in there and then 8 times in there. And, so then we practice over in there and we'll do our videos and fun runs in there.
Yeah. Hey,
but
Ruth,
it's a lot of work.
Yeah. Ruth, are you trying to ask a question? You had your hand raised. Okay. Can't hear you. You're muted. You're still muted. Ruth, you're help.
I just sent an unmute request, but
Okay, thank you.
But I don't think it worked. Still can't hear you, Ruth. Okay. I think she'll try back, hopefully.
We'll try back. Okay. Okay, good.
Our last building had columns as well, and the dogs kind of learned to work around them. So it's not impossible.
Yeah. So Lisa or Chris, what would be a common solution if somebody came to you and said our building has poles down the middle? What would you tell them?
We need to see pictures and or video and where the poles are.
Okay.
And from there, we were, how do they need to set the field up to work around those poles? Um, I still remember Eric's because he had a pole in the area that he had in his original place. The pole was exactly where the point ball needed to be for the novice level. Dead center, right on that mark. And we had them basically move the goal and the point ball over, I don't remember, 5 feet. So they weren't playing dead center on the field. Um, and that got them through the novice stage. So then later they found a bigger place. But it just depends on the layout, what we might suggest
Okay.
to keep them in the game.
Yeah, we want people to play.
Right. And there's actually, while we want for the dogs, for everybody, having a perfectly open field that's perfectly level and flat is awesome. It's not always the reality. And the rules don't actually say that it has to be perfect. So if there's a tree out in the far field, so be it. Your dog has to work around it. Maybe the field's not perfectly flat. Yeah, I mean, there's usually, if it's an outdoor field, there's usually a lot of little issues that the dog needs
Yeah.
to work with, and that's fine. That's
Okay.
fine.
Okay. Ruth is with us now. Did you have a question earlier, Ruth?
I did. I'm so sorry. This is my fault for trying to do this while driving to and from classes. I shut myself off. So I happen to be holding down the state of Alaska for Treibball.
Excellent.
And,
Thank you.
I'm an instructor at an agility facility that also does obedience. So I got in here telling my boss basically that we're going to do it. But I also we do it all winter long up here, so we're mostly indoors. But I don't. Sorry, you're also going to hear my dog. But I pushed for my students or people that were interested in trying it out, much like Fit Dog, I pushed the cognitive aspects of it and the body awareness aspects of it and the improving the team flow aspects of it, just like we did with Rally. So that's really helped. But also what somebody else was saying about building the syllabus, that would have been wonderful because it was been slowly kind of trial and error on this side. But that's really all I had to add in.
Okay.
That's an excellent selling point.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, Joanne has raised her hand. Joanne, what can we do for you?
Hi. I've been trying to get my microphone on, or I would have commented earlier. But I played primarily. I'm in Illinois, and I play primarily indoors. And there are indeed posts, and I try to maximize it. Sometimes it takes me a while to figure out how to maximize the field space, with the posts in the way. But the idea of playing indoors a lot is it's a big change because you mostly see people playing outdoors on fields, and so the loosening up the size of some of the courses, especially at novice level, to me would be helpful and easier. And also in regard to the training, people were saying, how do you do it? I do it the same way that many of the people, I align myself with the training center, and they are willing to either just pay me for the people I bring in, or I have my own business and rent the space. So those are the two ways that have worked for me. But it's hard when you're in a state and there's hardly anybody else around you that plays. So Anyway, those were just my comments from before that I couldn't get in fast enough. But thank you for all you've done. It's wonderful and very helpful.
Oh, good. Thank you. Anyone else have something they'd like to say or ask? Good ideas. We're making some good notes here.
It's Kyla again from Oregon.
Mm-hmm.
I just have one observation. I don't really know that there's a specific suggestion, but I think that the vast majority of the titling happening now is virtual, if I'm correct, because there's very few trials anywhere. And I think the rules I think are pretty clear in most cases, but it is definitely set up for those in-person trial. And that makes sense. I think it wouldn't be a bad idea to consider boosting the information about the video trialing. It's like 2 pages. And that's most everyone is getting their not a majority of people are getting their titles by video titling. And I think that's, for me, I realized that was the reason I was having trouble wrapping my mind around it, is because everything was geared to in-person trials and I was doing things virtually. So I can't remember the specifics. I'll have to go through again. Now I've kind of immersed myself in, and it kind of makes more sense to me. But as a newbie, that was a big issue for me. And I just want to plant the seed and think if there's a way to improve that section where it makes it feel more inclusive of, I don't know how to say it. Every time I've asked, there have always been, yes, very accommodating, but you feel like as a newbie, oh, there's these rules and then there's only these exceptions, and I don't know.
Okay, I totally understand what you're saying, Kyla.
Good. So I didn't say it very well.
No, because of the rules, and that's some of it too. Even looking at, well, we have the rules, and they are the how to thing.
Mhm.
I mean, like, this is how you trial, and yes, it's very geared toward the fine details of actually having a live trial.
Mhm.
Um, and there's a lot of looseness available. That's not probably the best
Mhm.
word. Um, we have lots of ways to bend things for video trialing.
Flexibility.
Yeah.
Flexibility, much better word, much better. And we've been talking about one of the things we maybe need to put together is one of the things I thought of is, what is the minimum that we need for a field for video titling? So if you read the rules and how they speak, how they speak to the live trial, it's
Mhm.
down to this nth detail. And the reality is for video titling, there's a minimum as a judge that we need to be able to see.
Right.
And if
Right.
you
I always thought it was silly to put up a back fence because the way my video camera is set up, you're never going to see it. And if on a video titling, my dog goes past the point of the camera, I'm
it's
out of the water anyway. So why
right,
am I setting that up?
right. It's so
Yeah.
true. And we thought, just being able to say this is this is the minimum, and these
Mhm.
are some, instead of just having that information might make it easier for people. Um,
Right.
as I don't remember how we phrased it, but what as judges do we need to see? And if
Mhm.
we can see that, we can deal with probably about anything else. Um,
Yeah. I think Nate has been wonderful in terms of, we want to see your dog display these skills before we give you this title. But we're
mhm.
not going to get all hung up on XYZ. And I think that's great. I just think it could be brought forward a little bit to that video titling section somehow. And I'll try to take a look at it and maybe provide a little bit more tangible feedback on that. But I think it would make things more welcoming.
Right.
Because right now, to build a base, we want to target people who are most likely going to be virtual titling. And then hopefully we can grow more in-person events from that base.
I agree.
Okay, good. Thank you.
I would just like to second the kudos that were passed on by someone earlier to the board and all of you who are pioneers for this game, because it's wonderful, and the way you talk to other people about it, that it's very enthusiastic, it's very fun, it is laid back even though you have your rules, and I just wanted to express my appreciation to everybody who has done that.
Oh, well, thank you. It is fun. I love this game.
Tons of fun. And be careful, Sue, we might recruit you.
They definitely will. They're all nice at first, and then they ask you to do work.
I'm not opposed to that because it's
That's
very
good.
contagious. I swore I'd never do this with my dog, and yeah, of course I'm doing it with my dog. So.
Here you are.
Your fault, Lisa.
Are there new games in the works, or was that just a rumor?
There's nothing concrete. We're talking about what would make sense. So I'm sorry, I really don't have even anything I can try to tease you with.
Yeah.
It's in the spitball phase. How about that? What about this?
Yeah,
No further than that.
Try this.
Kyla, you have any good ideas?
No, I had one for a training thing because I'm kind of sad because there's not. I'm going to do snooker, and then unless I want to retitle, there's not much. So I've been playing with some driving things, leaving balls around the perimeter of the field, having my dog drive the ball to the next ball, then switch balls and drive that ball to the next ball, and then switch balls and drive that dog to the next ball. And just fiddling around stuff, but I don't know how to make it a game. I got to figure out snooker first because you have to think in snooker and add, and it's just all very confusing.
I'm with you, Kyla, in that I keep holding off on doing snooker because I'm like, then I'm not going to have anything left to play with my dog. I need some more games or challenges or whatever. We need more.
That's when you get another dog.
Yeah, time for new dog.
Well, I do have Ashton to work, so there is that. But yeah, Riley still wants to play.
I kind of look at it like agility. You play their games, and then you get your catch or mock or whatever, and then you turn around and work towards the next one. And that's what I've been doing with my kid Chase. You get one championship, you go to the next one.
It's true, but it's really different in agility because when you have a standard course, the standard course is different all the time depending on your judge.
Yeah,
standard course is the same.
Maybe we could move the urban herding pens around all different places.
I don't give Chris ideas.
So therein lies the beauty of the try. When you get enough people together where you can have a live event and have a judge. Urban herding very much says in every one of the levels, the judge has great leeway in how they set up the challenges. There's specific challenges for video titling, and I have done some things. Sandy might not have enjoyed them as much as
We all cheered loudly.
Yes, we did. But yeah, urban herding allows for the judge
So
to.
I want to see these videos of this what this judge came up with so that I can try it at home.
I can tell. I can tell you the setup. Sandy probably remembers them. I've tried a couple. Um,
Well,
Yeah,
that was in
post them.
Chase's down period.
yeah,
Yeah.
they turned out to be maybe harder than because you suddenly realize that the dog gets very used to the certain things, and when you just put the balls in a little different places and ask a little differently, the dog's like, "Wait, what?"
Yeah.
You permission to
Really
do
doesn't like balls hiding behind pins as
that?
opposed to out
Yeah,
further, more accessible on the field.
Yeah.
yeah, just yeah. There
Gotta,
was
we got to do the Y shoot also,
yeah.
and
Yep.
yeah.
Jump in there, Karen. What did you want to say?
Oh, so is this might be a stupid question. So is urban herding a whole different thing than Treibball? Only
It's one
No,
of the games. It's one of the games in
one of the
Treibball.
games. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
But
So it's like there's the standard game in B&O and team in pairs and snooker, and those are all sort of formation based games where the balls are in some formation and you go out and you bring them in. Urban herding is more like herding sheep. We have pens out there and fences, and the dogs don't just bring the balls into you; they have to take the balls and put them in that pen over there. So
right, right.
it's a lot of it's a different set of skills than the formation ones where the balls have to come in.
No, I'm actually looking forward to the urban herding game a lot. I
Yeah.
just but it sounds like that it's can change. It's
yes,
more
it can.
variable than the.
And so and like in the rules for urban herding, we have a certain set of we have four. I think we ended up with each level has four different starting points. Um, so it's just that in a live trial there could be more, and we've toyed with the idea of putting more options out there. Um, so it's a thought. I mean, even for video titling, I think one of the things that's probably confusing too is some people refer to Treibball as urban herding. We actually adopted that phrase for one of our games. So some people who are not necessarily with Nate may refer to urban herding and just mean Treibball, the game of playing with your dog and the balls. So if you hear the term used out just in general, on the internet somewhere, they aren't always referring to our specific game, but we
Okay,
like it as a term.
thanks for clarifying that. Thank you.
All right. All right. We're rapidly approaching 9 o'clock. Is there anything else that we'd like to talk about before then? We can, you know, not trying to rush off, but I want to make sure that we get everyone's questions answered before we run out of time.
I just want to say I love our Clubhouse chats.
I do too. I'm glad we're going to do more of them. Sandy,
The
do you
urban
have?
herding, the urban herding clubhouse chat was a game changer for me. I refer to that all the time.
Yeah, and that's the nice part, recording them so other people can go back and watch them, or like you said, going back on your own to refresh yourself on it.
Yeah.
So are older clubhouse chats available then?
Yes. And in fact, it's like so many things on our website. It's maybe not the easiest to find, but it is in the members only section. There is the Clubhouse chat archive, and any we've had, and potentially even some that go back way back to before we made kind of some major changes in the game. So the really old ones might have some information that's not as accurate. But yes, there's an archive with all the old Clubhouse chats.
Another place to find them is on our YouTube
Yeah.
channel under the playlist Clubhouse Chats.
There you are.
I did paste a link to the YouTube video in the chat.
Nice. Nice.
Okay. Okay. Going once, going twice. Thank everybody for coming. It was interesting. I like hearing the questions at the end. That's my favorite part, hearing what everyone else is thinking. So thank you all for that. We'll be looking for a message from Monica sometime here shortly with the next Clubhouse chat, so we can all plan on coming to that. Go out and play with your dogs tomorrow. The weekend's coming. Good day to push balls. So
Thanks, Margaret.
Thanks a lot,
Thank you all.
Margaret.
Good night. I will turn
Thank
this off.
you.